was the answer.
It's crazy. If I stayed in Edmonton, I would have graduated.
Mr. Info.
Nope. Calculation. The solubility table is only accurate if you are predicting about 0.1 moles per liter. Are these values at 0.1 moles per liter? No. So you have to use a K.
Oh my God.
So yes, you have determined which one you need to check.
Why do we do this?
Do you know how long I've spent arguing with ChatGPT over chemistry facts? It gets the weirdest things wrong.
By the time we're in the workforce, it's gonna.
Oh my God.
So advanced.
If ChatGPT, if you accept everything ChatGPT says, then you won't be able to do things because ChatGPT can replace you. You have to know stuff to be able to work it. Like I can use ChatGPT because if I put it this question in, I'll go, that's wrong. And I can, but I look at it and say, give me different variations of this question. I can look at it and go,
Well, it's a lot of writing, so
that's stupid. They've got two precipitates. Oh, that's a good example. But if I used it just to give it to me and I gave it to you, it would easily give you impossible questions that don't make sense. Like,
Yeah, but it's gonna be so advanced.
I'm just gonna write it.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Hypothetically, if a student were to tell you that they cheated on a test at some point in time, would you unify it as a time?
is there current student at school?
Like, not even at Brooklyn though. It's like,
that's just
Okay, number one, what I really want you to do right now is do this problem. Let's have that philosophical discussion after. I would be happy to have it, but after. Why'd you erase everything? It was a good start.
how did a good start?
You identified which one you needed. You did the first step. You had step 1 and 2.
Mr. Info,
Yes.
can you check ours?
Yes. Oh, I'd love to.
It's
Equal volume credits, so you divided it by 2 for strontium, and for first carbonate, did the same thing. I would pedantically have units there, but leave that aside. You get a Q, you compare it to PSP versus PSP, and there, ooh.
We're trying to figure that out. No, because
So now erase.
within 0 this is not 0.
We got one successful. You're allowed to give advice, just don't let anybody copy. If you are done and I've checked it, try doing that one. Because you can do that one without knowing what that says.
You have it right. And you're erasing the right answer.
Yeah, yes, I told them to. Because they're going to do the next one. But you can ask them for advice. Yes? Oh, yes. Sorry?
What's the next question?
Turn over the page in your notes. Oh, yeah, that one. You can do that without knowing what the PLO says. Because it's very similar to what you just did. Except you're just solving for a concentration. It's actually easier. Maths? Chemistry. What group are you in, Matt? Focus on your group. You were on the right path. Yeah. No, you're on the right path. That's what I said. Oh, sorry. Was I supposed to check you at the same time? I just had this memory that you all right. Okay. So, you did the overall, you identified what it should be. You've written it backwards, but it's very nice divided by 2, that's good. Divided by 2, that's good. The only thing I'd quibble with, that you might get in trouble in the future, this works because these are 1-to-1 ratios. Well, let's say, for example, that the one you were trying to help the cost ratio is actually this one. It would be double that. Right? So just you would have to show that expanding in times it by 2 or something, or show it in your equation. But it works because you have the concentration nodes and you identify, so that's fine. There's going to be that case in the future is confusing. Put them in, you get the same number they got, and hold it. the KSP, they had a different KSP grid. So they said one wouldn't form, and you're saying one will. You both have the same number here, so I think this might be the KSP for strontium carbonate. Yeah, so yours is bigger. I think they did the calculation. Did you guys get a precipitate will form or will? They get it will. It's smaller. So, everything else was correct, but I just noticed that you got different results.
Okay, so they're right.
I didn't even,
Yeah.
I was fully
We know
eyes
that.
down.
And you know why you're right, so that's fine. Good. Everybody else, another group has finished it. If you want to erase and start on the next problem.
What's the brightest?
Oh, now why are you looking at sodium and nitrate?
No.
But they're aqueous. You know they will always be aqueous. Which one's more likely to be the solid? That's the one you want to look at.
But then we just have to assume that she's
So, what is the maximum amount of
Wait, no,
solid
this
bonds?
one's bigger.
I think can exist in K2. Wait, is K something that precipitates lots of things? No. It's soluble.
Wait, how does
So what is the problem with species?
I know. Yeah,
Yeah, so like how much of that time exists in this section, which is
Yeah.
I'm a little worried that you have denominator.
It's this guy. Mr. Newfeld.
No. Do you include solids in KQ calculation?
No.
There you go. That's true. Hold it! This is your trial KQ. I think it's supposed to come up 1.8. Let me just double check. Where did that number come from? Show me. How did you get that number? Well, why are these two numbers the same?
Oh, I forgot. No, I lied.
Hey, Mr. Newfield?
Good job, guys.
Of course. No worries.
Ooh, that looks good. And what's the KSP? Right. And that number is definitely smaller than the other number. So yes, precipitate. You got those. How did you get those numbers?
We just divided whatever on the board by 2 because.
Okay. So right process. What I would now sometimes I say minor quibble, major quibble is that if major quibble is because you have done a mathematical operation in your head that you wrote down, and so here's what I would do is like up here where it goes blah 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 0.005 molar. I would circle that possibly and then go like this and go, and a miracle happened. Like where'd that come from? So you did the right thing, you have to show it. So that's all. But right working, right answer.
Mr. Newfeld.
Yay.
I don't know, here's some issues.
Yeah, it was. But I knew the number was off. So I just wanted to make sure. Trial. If where's your trial?
That looks like more of it.
There, is that bigger or smaller? Is that bigger or smaller? Bigger, because -8 is bigger than -10.
Yes.
3 other groups made the same mistake. So yes, we get it. Marcus? Evan?
Yeah.
Which group are you in, Evan?
I'm in this one. We got our answer.
You have like almost no work.
Yeah, I did all my.
You can't do that. I need to know that 3.1 minus 18. Okay? As soon as you show me, you could probably go on to the next question. But otherwise, you'd be trapped in this classroom for the rest of your life. Marcus? Stop it.
Mr. Newfeld.
much.
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
so
joking.
you put the, so what,
So this is what we started with.
yeah, you mix them.
This is what we ended with. So this goes. This goes here. This is what we think will form a precipitate because it said that. Yes. So then we go here. Then we.
Oh, and then we just make.
So this is our equation. Because we didn't know this is the percentage.
What's wrong?
Never. That's step one.
Is your trial times 10 is good? Yes.
It's the same amount as you, it's just jumping.
And
So.
where's your concentration test?
CO3.
You got one of them, where's the other one?
CO3?
Yeah,
Divide
good.
by 2 because it's this is.
How is our two?
There's 2 together. Divided by 2. Divide by 2,
Oh,
that's
okay.
your
You don't need to do this. Simply because, but you can do that to show like what you think the precipitate might be. View it.
We did it. And now we put it into this
Yeah,
number.
but if you're doing it for your brains, put it in your
Oh, that's so bad.
That's because of like ego spare. As well, later on, you also balance your list.
Something like that didn't come out before.
It's clear solubility.
There you go. We do it that is the KSC is
I
that.
felt that I was like following
You
the.
know the
If it's
concentration of that.
bigger, the trial is bigger, the radius equals but it's not smaller.
Yes, yes, they do have to equal that.
Here, wait, you do the next one. I want your wrong side.
So you put that times F equals that, and self for X equals that. That's it, units, molarity. Yes, you can leave it on too. Perfect. Just put in your charges.
I was telling Austin.
That's good.
This is actually like a massive
Ego boost for,
What? Evan, Marcus, I think you should work farther apart.
We have, we're done, so we're waiting for the next question. Is there another question?
Yeah, right, take the sheet. Just go to the next question. Right here. Go, 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 go.
Go get your sheet, Marco.
Go get your sheet. Go get your sheet. Because I'm going to write down the answer to this
Go
one.
get the pink
I
eye.
think I see.
If you're done, you are studying the next question. If you're done the next question, you can review. Or do the
Is this
question
the next
after
question
that.
you're writing? Oh, okay. Well, like, I'm starting to get girls too high, I think.
Next page.
It's all filled out.
Oh, I made more pages.
But it's something to read out for us. It's done. I took the time. This is the one that we just did.
we didn't even know how to
We didn't remember
You
how to
must
derive
have taken this from
algorithms.
one that I put when I was still up.
No, we didn't.
Or maybe I
That's
made it,
filled out.
maybe I made it there afterwards for a reason where I put on board. But you're doing that question. Don't look at the answers.
Yeah. Okay. I'm writing it down for you. It's on your iPad.
Can we have the question?
Sure, I'll put the question up. The next question you were doing is that one.
What is the max?
It's right there.
The max S.
Calculate the ionic concentration of one ion.
Yeah, it's.
No. It's example one. Yeah.
It's a different type of question, but it uses a lot of the same reasoning.
Yeah.
Try it. I feel like our class is
What is that? Just while you're in the way.
use your reasoning.
You really just did that, didn't you?
My fault.
Oh wait, Marcus stand up.
If you want to do example 2,
What's in there?
Can I?
I'll just. You don't have to go over the board. You will know you have the right answer if you get something times 10 to the minus 4.
Let's see what.
Those are like 39 inches. Wait, not. 25 plus 39 is 64. Yeah, 64.
Next question.
Next
Question. Whoa, don't hit my board. They don't give it. I've been asking for more. If you break one, they'll never give me another one.
I did the last one, and so now I'm telling you know this. Mark.
Come on. Show me the rollers ring.
One class.
Okay, so then.
But this is equilibrium. Start off. What could precipitate all the ions? You only have 3 possible ions. What could precipitate?
Well, I need my chart.
You're going to get your chart.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, it's not India, that's a good guess. Do you want a second try? And then the guy's like, it's definitely India.
Okay. So for
What is the maximum SR?
so SO4 and SR are soluble.
Are soluble?
These two are soluble, or not soluble too.
Right.
Like they
So
these
that.
precipitate.
So now, what kind of equations do we write when we're doing this section?
A solubility equation? Or
Yeah. So now just write the net solubility equation, put the solid on the left, put the ions in there. This,
Perspective.
spectator. So you can just eliminate that. So what they're asking, this is soluble with everything. So this is a whole solution. Given that this isn't soluble, how much of that can you put in there with the KSP? You can get the KSP, 2 equations, you know one of them, you know the KSP, solve for the unknown.
Right, and when she does, she like
Algebra.
into like maybe later.
Yeah, mine is not
Tells you
like
what's
that.
the place you're Really? Oh. That's funny. What? What? I'll just click on them because I feel
Bro,
like
I swear to God. All the
yeah.
I don't even know what
That's so awkward.
SR plus.
Oh my god.
X down. I want to see that.
Wait, that might
There's an X. I don't know what it is.
Do it, write down the answer and if you can do it in your head. Huh?
What's under the X in the circle? K2.
Oh, sorry.
SR plus K2.
Isabel? You said you could do it in your head. So write down the answer if you can do it in your head. Have you guys switched partners?
Okay.
Okay.
Swipe back out.
Oh, whatever you guys want to do. As long as you're working. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on FaceTime right now. I set aside in the chat. Totally didn't mean to do it. It's like, yup. I always forget it does that. Right now on FaceTime. When you screen share FaceTime. Some of the questions, I was, okay. I'd like to say I was towards the right. I'd like to say we were both towards the right. Yeah. That's what I did. Oh, I didn't know. I don't know how to do the rates for this. Like, I'm trying to look. It's not anymore.
Do you know this as well?
No, I just.
You're in chemistry. You're in chemistry. Or the KSP unit. What mathematical formula? They're asking for what mathematical formula do you know that has concentration? Yeah, equals. Right. And do you know all the numbers but one?
No, only the numbers.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, it does. All 0.20.
You know one of the numbers for concentration.
Yeah, we already
Why would
plug it.
what do you mean, two of them?
Well, because no, it's the same concentration. Mark says removed.
Do you need glasses?
No, I have contacts.
Oh, okay, okay. You were blinking a lot, and then you were walking closer. And do you know the KSP?
No.
Yes. Because you have a KSP table.
Oh yeah, I do.
So you know, of the three numbers in the equation, you know two of them.
Oh.
And your only one you don't know is the one they're asking you for. This is a y equals a times b problem. You know y and you know a that's asking you to solve for b.
Okay, so I know the KSP.
Yeah. And you know one of the concentration.
How do I know one of
The
the two?
K2?
Pardon?
Are we using the K2?
Would you?
Yes.
Why?
But you crossed it out earlier.
Yes.
So why is it?
Show me your solubility table.
Dude, how do we know the KSP?
Do you have your data with it? Every time you see one of these,
Nope, it's 3.
cross it out. It's a substitute
Function at x equals 3 is 1. That's what I did.
It's not, remember, I did get 51%.
So how did I only get?
I remember when I
got
didn't
3
know
points.
it.
I got 2
That was
points.
frustrating. And then later on, it's like, oh, it's so easy.
That was like
You just have to like know a ton of
I did
things.
show my
Yeah.
And yeah,
Wait.
knowing a ton of things.
okay, but
Biology can be a lot higher.
Let's do this one.
Which one do we know? No,
You know you can get by being good at
how do
math.
you know?
Chemistry.
Bro, we know the concentration. How do we know? Don't know the concentration of SO4. Oh, is it K2? Because it's from K10.
Listen to that man.
What are we doing? Okay, no. What are we doing? It's an X. You're solving for it. You're literally solving it. You're solving it. It's line for calculator.
Once you're done that last problem, it's a Hebden workday. And at the end, we're going to decide where to test it.
I get maybe not.
I thought Saturday.
Are you serious?
No. Are You Serious is an Australian actor from the 80s who starred in like 5 films.
Okay.
I think it was.
At least I know how to do it.
Look what we're doing. Where do you got it? What's 3.4 divided by 10?
We're having a bit of a
3.4 divided by 10.
quarter life crisis.
That's just all of this.
My Shayla.
Wait, I look.
The grade 10s have it, the grade 11s have it, and the grade 12s have it.
I didn't even
Yeah.
Do you think that I just wanted to do it? No. I don't think he physically can play not yet.
There we go. This could be
You can't put
So
not
I
yet
should
emerging.
wait. So wait. This is how you cheat the system. So one extending high to get not yet
Okay,
every other.
and not yet emerging is 45% in the grade.
This is the right.
So,
I don't think that's
So-
what's the maximum?
so.
Bro, it's literally right.
But Mark's was due today at
Oh, we
noon.
got it.
So, do you have time to put it in?
Yes, because he gave us the test back.
Ask him. That's what we do. If everybody in the class is poor,
No, we know that not everyone.
No, we sat next.
okay. What I'm gonna say is, how many opponents, and this is math, right? Remember, if math is stupid, it says 0 is equal to 2.
Really?
Just
Where
ignore
does
it. Ignore it. Yeah, it was a waste. Hebden,
Oh, that's what.
focus on the course you can do well in, which is chemistry.
It brought me down from a 92 to a 66.
That's not possible.
Well, that's
Wait, how much would it? No, wait. We had like 3 tests in this course.
In calc?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting cooked.
whoa,
Like,
stop
Rick,
that.
so much.
I will turn it off. Don't reach out. It's funny. I'm
No.
rapidly getting on my death.
Come on.
Go get some gummies.
Okay, if you insist.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you are done, you may grab a small handful of gummy bears from the cupboard. Once you're done, oh, I don't know. Let me. Sorry, I thought you were asking me if you're working with. Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, you're both right. Mia, You're in charge of handing it out.
I'm in charge of handing out.
You're in charge of the gummy bears, all the gummy bears. Make sure everybody has enough.
Don't reach it, please, because that's really.
Mr. Neufeld,
Yo.
how many people touched these before
Are
lab?
they clean?
Nobody. Those have not been touched by grade 10s. They have never entered the lab. They were used for the DNA, building a DNA model with candy that you do in grade 10. Except we did them in here instead of the lab so we could eat them afterwards, so they're food safe.
Did you reach in the bag, Marcus?
However, you're all touching them.
I'm not.
You're not, but like they are. I wouldn't eat them now.
That would have been in the lab.
No one's touched them at all.
Language.
Okay, I want some of those.
Yep. For a what? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna put the because I think he understands that. Technically. And I don't think he's a monster because he shined my shoes. So he must be kind of nice. So I don't think he's gonna hurt it, especially for doing it. There's no way he's paying that.
Mr. Neufeld, can you post a non-filled out version?
Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, yeah.
I do know I had trouble exporting it, so I might have been going from other files. I will do that though. I'll also put in, if you notice there is one without filled in stuff, I want to put all the filled ones in given the test coming up, and I'll do that as well.
When is the test?
We haven't determined that yet. We're about to.
After break.
What? That's a long ways away. And a bit.
No, just a week.
The day before break.
Yeah.
Next week. Next week on Thursday.
The two things I worry about, because in one sense, it doesn't matter to me when it is, but I know from long experience that the average class, not student, class as an aggregate, will want it as far away as possible because you hate your future selves. So that you'll put a problem on them and then they'll have to deal with it, and then you go, oh my God, there's a test. And you'll do forgetting. You won't do nearly as much studying as you think you do. But if it's relatively soon at a reasonable time, you will panic the right amount and get enough studying done.
You have tests in every single.
That's why I want to go through it as a class discussion, not a I will tell you when it is.
Can we do it the day before break and have every other class to study for?
Yeah. I mean, there are people who won't be here who will have to make it up after, but I don't mind that. You just asked me that. I said I'd do it later.
Oh, are we not taking notes for this?
Well, I'm filling this in. I'm not going to be able to get it right away. 1 second.
Can we
Whoops.
put it in outside of class?
One second. 1 second. There's a couple things we have to do.
But after that,
Maybe. I don't think well when I'm doing something. So I never want to say yes or no until I figure out what it is you said.
Otherwise, like Will Watts lives up there, doesn't he?
I can try it.
Yeah, I mean, if you are, but there's no reason like change it.
I started
Oh.
meters.
Can I talk to you?
Oh my god, seriously? That's so
Marcus? Joel? Did you get?
It's not here.
Oh, really?
Come on.
Okay. You guys worked really well. Thank you. I heard lots of brains firing off. For this one, I originally wrote do the equation, then do the other equation. And one area you did well this time, because it happened a lot in this time, is when you write this, it's very tempting, because now you've written an equation, to now dance off with that equation and try and use it with KSP. That's not a KSP equation. The only thing this is for, Preston, Cole, is to identify which one's the solid. So this is just used to predict what's your solid potentially going to be. It's also easy to stop there and go, oh yeah, we found it. But that particular table is only for 0.1 molar. These are far less than 0.1 molar. So if this said like 0.2 moles and 0.5 moles, absolutely, that would tell you. But because there's quite a bit less than that, you have to prove it with KSP. Once you identify the solid, you put in the solubility equation, you get the concentrations you need, which I think I only did for one. Bad, Mr. Neufeld. So I need to put one in for that, which I'll do later, but it would be similar to that using the equation. Now I've put Q and QSP. I like doing this because I don't know if they're equal, greater than, or less than, but it lets me know to put them beside each other. And then I put the KSP here, the actual number I look up, because you have to look that up. And then these are the ones you calculated that you calculated for the Q. Put those in and then just do a straight comparison. This is much larger, big. And then you write that you would get a precipitate. I've got fancy letters apparently coming up now. Next problem. Life will be a little easier if you memorize the alkali ions. All of the alkali ions are spectator ions because they're soluble with everything: lithium, sodium, potassium. And the number of times I see a question where a student insists that that is a precipitate with anything is too high. So if you just know them and you go, oh, that's wrong, or you just look them up in your periodic table and go, oh, and you eliminate it instantly pops out, oh, it's going to be strontium sulfate. That's a potential precipitate. You have the KSP, so this is a Y is equal to X times B problem, and you know Y, and you know X, and the question is asking you for B. So this is, I mean, it's a whole learning outcome. Calculate the molar concentration of one ion given the KSP and the molar concentration of the other ion. But it's a very simple algebraic problem. Once you can recognize it and calculate it, it is almost worth your contempt for it just being a simple algebraic problem. I've put the answer down for the other one so you can just practice that. The rest of today is going to be a Hebden day once you've done that and you figured out what you want to do, because we have done all the learning outcomes for solubility. So now is the time to say, when are we going to have the test?
And it'd be next week sometime.
How about
Wednesday before
after
break.
we get back?
Can we do it on Wednesday?
Now,
What?
Monday would be best.
This week?
there we go.
Monday or Wednesday.
Okay, a couple of things that I worry about Number one, I don't want on a day where you literally all are going to be away because there's some grade 12 thing, or you have another super major test. If you have a quiz that day, that is not 2 tests in a day. You're going to have that night. The sheer number of minor formative or minor summative you might have means that there's always going to be something on Sunday. But if you have, and you know you have a major test that day, let me know. I will try and avoid that. If we put it to after the break, you will not do as much studying as you think you do. I do not say that to you personally, but as a class, I know that. As generic students, you hate your future selves and you give them problems so that you don't have to deal with them right now. And as a teacher, knowing that I know that, I don't want to create a situation in which I've allowed you to do that to yourself. It's like watching someone punch themselves. It obviously, I would not want it this week. We are rapidly approaching midterm.
If we do Monday, can we get our marks back on Wednesday?
Not Monday.
Monday?
Not Monday.
Let's just run
We don't even have class on Monday.
Tuesday.
We have class on Tuesday.
Let's do Tuesday.
Yeah, so Tuesday.
We do have, and now is this is midterm, right?
Yeah, we leave on Tuesday morning, or Thursday morning.
Thursday morning. And there's no classes on Thursday, it looks like. Last year was different. And then could I get you your marks back on the Wednesday?
Yeah.
Now that I'm done I haven't marked your last quiz. That is I volunteered to be admin tomorrow because I am planning to do that marking. Because it takes me so long to mark the labs, and I was trying to grind away to get the last few done. They're now done. You'll get them back. You'll get the quiz back.
Is it in the grade book?
The labs, yes. Yeah.
Do you update the grades on like the grade
When I put in a major thing, yes. I have yeah. It didn't change, and a few people might have had like a minor percent change. The couple that changed a lot, I think, went up. So I would say the 4th.
Yeah.
The 4th, okay.
Good.
The 4th. We will now. We can't do review every day before that, but we're definitely going to do review today. We don't have a lot of classes, but I might start acids and bases on the Friday, and then given that we have it on the Tuesday, we don't. That's it. Maybe half a class for devoted review time on the Friday, and half the class just to introduce acids and bases. Is that a shortened class? No, it's a regular size class. Would probably work. So this would be reaction kinetics, equilibrium,
Can you give it in letters?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I.
Oh my god.
It is your
That's a whole lot.
mid-year exam. If I wanted to put it in scary terms. If I wanted to put it in not so scary terms, it would be, when you did equilibrium problems, you will notice there's a lot of reaction rate problems that they ask you. What is the reaction rate doing as you're going through equilibrium? And I found in the past that when I didn't include reaction rates with equilibrium, people would forget that, and then they couldn't answer the equilibrium questions. And then solubility has everything to do with equilibrium. So by keeping it all together, I force you to keep reviewing it until it's established as a foundation. But that's also cruel. So after this, I will stop. The test after this one is only going to be JKL.
Will that be before
End of term, JKL? Should be. JKL's intro to acids and bases. It'll go by like that. We want to get acids and bases into quickly. And it's just more equilibrium. Once you start equilibrium, it's equilibrium until the end of the year until we do electrochem. So we are saying the 4th. Now we have Friday. Should I give you like a 1-question quiz in the last 10 minutes of class on just I, so you can get some feedback on it, where you have to like do a problem? Okay, I'll do that on the Friday. So I won't put any GRH. It'll just be like one of the problems that you just did in this last section where you have to calculate something. And that way I can give you quick feedback on that. Now, I won't have a class to give it back to you. So that will be like, come back to, when is this? This is right before tutorial. So that means stick around after tutorial and I'll quickly mark them.
Okay. Are there going to be can you do like a few long answer questions?
I'll do, because it'll be quick at
We're
the
doing
end,
quiz
I'll
on
do
Friday?
one long answer question.
Wait, if we're doing this quiz on Friday,
Friday.
is there time I can do it before?
Why?
I might not.
Oh, well, will you be here on the weekend? Why not?
Mom, you can text me. I want to do this year.
Oh, I won't have it ready before the weekend.
Okay.
All I'm doing here is marking your quizzes,
Alright.
and I put your lab, I took through all the marked labs. Your labs had priority, so I marked them first, and now I have to mark all the grade 10 labs.
We have counted
So that's
for
that day.
block though on.
On Friday, yeah.
Okay, I'll
Okay. So, time for you to get out your head in. Finish the last problem.
I saw that one.
If you're going to stay in the building and you want to look at a little table, provided you are quiet, I wouldn't mind that. But I am still here to ask questions. Please don't go back to your houses. I would get in trouble.
Can we have to go?
We'll work out a little bit.
We did so much work on the board.
Anyone who comes to me and shows new work that they've done in their Hebden, maybe Judy lunch. Maybe, maybe. On an individual basis.
My headphones on my desk.
Run, go grab it.
If I saw.
We're both going to be here all
How many of the questions?
Where are you gonna be?
Oh.
Oh.
I got
Would you be able to write like
some of them
Wednesday night or
marked
something?
off, like
Oh.
mine was brutal. Like,
Would that work for
he
you?
marked some marked wrong.
Can I
That was
write
like.
it like, can I get back like in the afternoon?
Okay,
Can
he
I
marked
write
this
it
wrong
like
because he said I didn't show
during?
He gave me a point out and said it didn't show work.
The only thing I don't know of is who would invigilate, because there's no justice
Do you want
center.
to just meet in for
And that is on
Yeah.
Friday?
That's a little bit.
Not
On
Friday,
Wed-
it's
on
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Wait,
Just
what,
didn't music
what
quiz.
did you say about
Yeah,
hockey? Isn't there a protest center
Don't
on
talk
Wednesday?
about that.
Or not?
Wait.
The night before?
Yeah.
We forgot.
We get.
There
I
might
think
not be,
Monday
in
night
which
is
case it would be a
Wednesday
testing center
before.
after the midterm.
I
So
had
I'm
the
asking
exact
if I can write
coordinate
it
right,
Wednesday
but he was
after.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
I don't
how'd you
wanna
get
write
this?
it.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
so
wanna write it
obvious.
after.
Because there's no testing center on
Sine
Monday.
of pi
Yeah.
plus x equals
And
pi.
if you're gone for hockey, you're probably not gonna be doing a testing center that night.
No, I'm
But I
coming
think
on Wednesday.
We
Yeah,
come
you
back
did that
on
on purpose
Wednesday,
for a lot of
like
people.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's testing center that night, I can put it in there. If there's not, it'll just have to be after. the
Mr.
break.
Like,
Phelps,
I should have gotten 4 points.
I did not.
Oh, you're
me,
also on hockey?
Anna, and I are all in hockey, but B and I are not going to be back
I didn't know
on
that.
Wednesday
I didn't know.
because we're just going straight
I
to
completely.
Whistler
You joking?
from Vancouver.
Will
After the hockey trip.
got L'Hopital's rule on this. Completely.
Well, Elena, you don't need to include Elena in that, because I think she's just generally concussed and may
I
not be
got.
too
I
I
probably
don't
would have
know.
gotten that one. But
I have to
that's
talk to
all right. I was,
Elena.
like,
Well, no, you didn't have to
However, if you,
sorry,
if for some reason you can't write it, and you're not gonna be here, and there is no, say,
No,
testing
sorry,
center here,
sorry,
you're not gonna be
yeah,
back
you
for,
just have to remember
then it's just gonna have to be after the break.
I thought they didn't count
In the
so much.
testing
It's
center.
like, you actually
I'll
have to
just
do
have it
stuff.
in
Like, you
there
actually
for
have
like,
to study.
like when you come back.
It's not like it's just.
We're
Okay,
not
do
gonna
that.
get those for
Also,
the
Okay.
The lab was due, right?
What?
Oh,
But he's gonna make it.
the lab,
Yeah.
yes,
Like,
yes.
I think
if
Yeah.
I actually studied for
wasn't
these
here
tests,
for the
I think
lab
I
and then I didn't
would do these.
know that it was
Thank
due
you.
and how to turn it
I
in.
studied, but I only
There
studied.
is, I don't know if we still have the materials left, we're gonna be doing a future lab,
lab,
and you have a mark for your lab, so if you miss a lab, I don't know if I can redo it like at lunch where I did, I could see if I do that, and if I do, I'll send you an email.
What's your grade?
And if not, I'll just use your mark from the next lab we do,
Well,
it's like that.
Before this, it was a
I can't get a
92.
bad mark on
Same.
this lab.
Mine was a 9
No, it didn't.
before.
I'm sorry,
But after this,
I
it's
mark,
gonna drop
if
down
you're
to-
marking proficiencies, it doesn't matter which lab I mark the proficiency
Right
on.
before. Yeah.
Um, This one was about the accuracy of your results, so it was that type of thing,
Well, okay,
and we're going to be doing a future one.
his grades are in. I didn't think
If
you
I do,
submitted this.
I have like half of it that I did.
But you didn't actually do it.
Yep.
I did.
What are you trying to
Well,
do
you were
first?
here in the lab?
Oh.
We did 2
I'm
parts,
not an
right?
veterinary
2
medicine. I
days.
don't really need
I was here for the first day.
Oh, you didn't finish it?
You did
I might need
not.
to start
You finished it on
Yeah.
Saturday and I wasn't there.
Also, the sad part is calc is my grade booster. That's how bad I'm doing in all
Mm.
the classes.
Bad.
Bad. It's like an 87.
What's today?
It's not.
Today is,
What's your average?
because I
I have
have
all
other
A
stuff I need to go
minuses
do.
every single class.
I will be in the house, so I won't be able to be in the lab then. But it might be useful.
I have a 96 in AP Calc.
Well, can I?
Same with pre-calc actually. I have 100 in
Can I-
pre-calc.
Friday
And I, like,
tutorial.
Miss Winsky's my
Would-
goat.
if I got it set up,
Yeah,
would you
I
be able to
literally
do
scroll
it?
TikTok every single class. And like
I don't know.
That's what I did last year, and I got like I ended with like a 90
Tests are so
something.
easy.
Yes, dude.
Um,
Also, like.
I can't just get like the answers from my group. Right?
I'm
I'm actually
for the previous one, like I just marked. What I was marking was your pre-lab and your observations.
Is it a pre-lab?
Yeah, on the last lab, like the equilibrium, like ages ago, in the actual spiral book. This one is not a spiral book; it's just a sheet.
Yeah.
I'm not marking your pre-lab.
Never too late.
I'm not marking your observations.
Never too late.
I am marking your answer and your reasoning. If you use someone else's observations, then you were relying that they were as careful as you
Just
were.
drop
We
out
all
of
wrote
high
the same
school.
thing. We all
I'm just
did.
gonna drop high school.
But you haven't done the later sections.
If you take a gap year though,
If you were there and you'd seen it, and you're also trying to interpret results that someone else did, the purpose of the lab is for you to actually do it, see it, and make a conclusion. And I want you to have that as
I
like,
could go to Australia.
You could. That is
it's a bit like online learning. Never as good as actual learning.
I don't wanna
Reading a
have
lab
like-
table is not the same as doing the lab.
Yeah.
I would much rather you did the lab so you have that experience for the future and then wrote up your lab.
So you think
And I don't mind if it comes in late, that's fine. I'd rather you got an opportunity to do it. The only reason I'm hesitating and having on is because Ms. Stewart, it makes her job so much more difficult if I keep getting out solutions over and over again. But I'll see if I could for Friday tutorial if that works for you. If not, you and I share a spare, don't you? Hold it. When's your learning center block?
D.
We could also pick a D block someday.
Sure.
I don't know if I could.
How long will the second half take? Do you think?
I think it'd take like half an hour, 45 minutes. If you were like stressed because you've got like a test right away after it and you've already got that scheduled aside, we can just put it off until it would work.
Okay. Mia, when is our self-defense thing with how
Friday night.
Friday
night? Or is it during? Or is it during the
I
day?
may have a spawn in Hope House.
Oh yeah.
I decide a form.
So I'm gonna be here Friday tutorial then.
Okay. I don't know if Friday tutorial would be long
Yeah.
enough, but it might be enough to figure out and at the very least, if you could come and we could organize a time, and I could see if I can get the solutions ready, and then if that's a good time, we can start. If not, we can organize what D block spare, lunchtime, or sometime in the future that would work for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm honestly fine with any time except for the Tuesday. Like Tuesday I'm gone, and then the rest I'm gone too.
Okay.
So
Okay. And if it has to be after you get back from midterm,
okay.
that's okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
No. There's more left. Don't call me fat. Don't call me fat. Like I'm.
Okay.
No, I have, but how do you have it when you have multiple types?
Oh.
No, that's wait. So if I have
Right.
2 types though, then that's fine. What's your lowest really?
I think I see what you did. For me, just break the KSP equation with the concentrations without numbers. What would the KSP equation be? Just write that.
I don't even have the.
No, without numbers. Write it without, like concentration out of time. Do that. Not 2x. It's going to be, whatever it is, it's going to be squared. Yeah. Elena! Hi. Oh, before you go, a reminder, because I haven't been mentioning it. The next lab thing I'm evaluating is their last lab. If you haven't handed that in, I am not marking your observations per se. I'm marking your answer and your reasoning. So, hand that in as soon as you got it done. We scheduled the test day. And I don't know in terms of where your brain is at.
Low-key not there right now.
So if you have to write it later or put it off, that's fine. It's next Tuesday on February 4th. Okay? Is it too bright in here? Where did you just come from?
Like, look away from that.
1 second.
No, it's okay.
Wait.
You don't have to go.
Oh,
What turns into?
because you're on a return to learn protocol, right?
No SAC.
People found out.
People did find out. I told you.
You're a good student.
Yeah.
I also marked oh, that's Tuesday. I also marked the labs and you'll get feedback on them and your exact grade. The reason I'm telling you,
Oh, I know what you're
I have it in Word document, but, no, on equilibrium.
Bulbasaur is looking tough.
We did in December.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And you actually did really well. I have to remember yours. So, but if you notice your last year slightly, it's because I did add that. I have no idea for any one person. I suspect if yours did it, I probably would not.
Yeah, No, it's Blastoise, yeah.
But he doesn't do it.
No, I know, there's a middle one.
It's
What were you doing just before this?
No,
Have you been to any classes? Okay. Okay. And how's your brain doing?
But you guys just once told me unit I.
We just finished a whole new unit that we've been working on for weeks. Yeah, you've gone through no way. So what's the plan? And you have someone in the house that you can work with, go through the notes and the examples? Yeah, you're on a return to work, and it can be delayed. Yeah. I mean, could I give you it is not super difficult to generate some of those quizzes. They're doing a quiz on, I think, maybe Friday, just on I with a practice problem. And if later on you're like, could I have an I problem that I have to do, and I can treat it like a quiz. We could do that. Q and KSP are in I, yes. I is a lot of the calculations. Whereas G and H were like intro to solubility and what the theory of solubility and what is solubility. And then I is like calculate all these things.
Oh, how did we get you? I didn't know.
Yeah, so then could I be, I can't take that as much, so, especially after, right? So
No, I think you probably could. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't necessarily be the same quiz.
okay.
But it's not like, I don't like making up lots of quizzes when like people miss classes and I gotta make up 17 quizzes and that's a pain, but like you have a concussion, so one person and like serious medical thing, so, you know.
Thank you.
Wait,
So
this
then
card's kinda
do
good.
I take it like, do
Yeah,
all
it
three
is.
tests
Yeah,
in one
for 2
semester
coins and start this.
What? Why would you do that?
after break?
No, the purpose of taking
I'm
a
gonna
quiz
start
is
like
to
actually
prepare for the test. So I'm assuming you come to me and say, hey, can I write the quiz? My brain's good now. I'd like to check how well we know this, if you studied, got better studying, whatever.
Okay.
And then give you the quiz, see how you do in preparation for whenever we schedule the test.
Okay.
So maybe you come back and we have you write a quiz, see where you're at, then schedule the test. So you're getting formative feedback at the same time.
Okay.
That'd be way better.
Okay.
Writing all the formative feedback of the quiz on the same night seems counterproductive.
Okay, thank you.
That's understandable. It will rely on you coming to me after break and saying, I want to write this quiz.
Yeah, well, I will.
Okay. When did you get your phone? You didn't take it out of the box, did you? Because that's the magic box. Nobody takes their phone out.
I didn't.
Your phone is not missing.
It's in the box. No.
No, I don't see it in the box. I do see a pen in the box. How'd that get there? Put your phone back in the box. I don't know how it but
I forget where I left
I-
off, so I don't know.
I can't even do work. I don't have my everything.
Did you do that last practice problem?